it's Hollywood. Today we're going to take a look at these Agency Arms drop-in triggers. I have one in my 43 and one in my 19. My Glock 30 has a stock trigger, and my 1911 Kimber Eclipse Pro 2 also has a stock 1911 trigger, which we're going to talk about as a comparison. Let's get to it. Alright, all of these guns have been safety checked. Let's talk about what I do like about the Agency Arms trigger. I like the flat shoe on the face of the trigger there. It gives you a nice even surface to pull back on, so you can just pull straight back, as opposed to a stock Glock trigger that is rounded in this way. And unless you're really proficient, you can tend to pull or push the trigger in different directions because of that rounded face. To give you an example, if I put too much finger on the trigger here and wrap it through, as I'm pulling, I'm going to bring the gun to the right. You can see I'm just hitting the wall there, and each time I do, that front dot is traveling to the right. If I don't have enough, you can see now I've just got my finger on this outside edge here. If I don't have enough finger on the trigger, it's not as pronounced, but I am slightly pushing on the trigger. The flat face on this Agency Arms, it almost forces you to just put the pad of your finger perfectly on there. It doesn't feel right to hook the trigger and put too much on it, and you certainly can't really put too little on it. It almost gives you a tactile response where it doesn't feel right not to have your finger perfectly on that trigger. A striker fired trigger is always going to be different than a 1911. It's never going to feel the same. You can see my take up here on this 1911 is very minimal. You hit a tremendous predictable wall, and then it easily breaks. The reset on a 1911 is really short, easy to break again. I think that's what a lot of guys are expecting when they buy these drop-in triggers. Like I said though, a striker fired trigger is always going to have some take up and some creep. As it's pushing that plunger up, I can feel it. There's that wall. And there's still, you can see, there was still a little bit of creep on that trigger. Let's get up closer. There's a complete reset. There's my take up to the wall. Creep, 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 and it breaks. A lot of guys don't like that. There's your reset. It's a pretty significant reset. Creep, 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 break. That's a lot of creep, but unless you get a hand-fitted trigger, you're probably going to have to just deal with that. If you shoot it enough and you get used to it, you can probably become proficient with it. The small frame on this 43 has kind of thrown me for a loop. If you've seen some of my previous videos, I'm pulling my shots to the left. I've also accidentally held down the slide lock with when I've had gloves on. It's really difficult getting used to this smaller frame. The trigger on this one I feel is a little bit better than the trigger on my 19. There's much less take up. You can see there I'm already at the wall. Creep, creep, and it breaks. So because the tolerances on Glocks happen to be pretty loose, I would say kind of AK-47-esque. Now the reset's significant. Some of these triggers may be fairly tight and match feeling, and some of them, like on that 19, may be a little sloppy feeling. See, there's the wall. These triggers are supposed to be in the neighborhood of about 3.5 pounds. Let's test them out. It's 4.12. .12. Yep. Hold on. Sorry, forgot to get it ready. Pretty consistent, 4.12. Let's try the 19. .7. 4.2. 4.1. So they come in a little bit higher than 3.5 pounds. They are great looking triggers, don't get me wrong, but if you are expecting a 1911 feel out of this, you're not going to get it. Like I said, this one, look at the take up on that, is much, much less than on my 19. Look at all that take up on that one. And then the creep. A lot of creep on the 19. There's the wall. Quite a bit less creep on the 43. Now, I don't know if that's due to the connector on the 43. It is a different trigger. Originally, I ordered the exact same trigger for this because it said, I think it said most 9mm or something like that. So I thought, well, shit, 9mm, let's order the right trigger. And then found out that there is one specifically for the 43 and the 42. So if you're going to order one of these, make sure you get the right one if you're getting the 43. That's it, guys. These retail for roughly $150, depending on where you get them. I want to say the 43 was $160, and that one was $150 on the Glock 19. So depending on where you get them, you may find a couple dollars off. Most of the time, I wait until various companies come out with holiday coupon codes and things like that, and usually you can knock a few bucks off. So that's it, guys. Time to danger these back up. If you like what you saw, please hit that subscribe button below. Lots more videos to come, and we'll see you on the next one.